Greetings, programs. This is Wretch. Welcome back to VTM Coteries of New York. And we are searching for D'Angelo, guys. Apparently there has been yet another murder that the Nosferatu has gone to investigate. And we came upon the crime scene. Unfortunately, it looks like we have drawn the attention of one of New York's finest. And a policeman is heading our way, so we need to decide what we're going to do here. I think we're probably going to calmly wait for him to approach because we haven't really done anything to warrant suspicion. And I am kind of curious as to why this policeman did a double take when he saw Xavier. So let's see what happens here. Not allowing panic to set in, you stand your ground, doing your best ordinary citizen impression. The cop waddles across the street towards you, his sense of authority putting that extra spring in his step. You try to remain calm, even as he's put his hand on his holster. Shit. You can't help but mouth the word. This is about to get messy. Suddenly, he stops, as if he instinctively realizes he was just inches away from a grisly demise. He waves at you, dismissively, and yells in a thick Brooklyn accent. Hey, this is an active crime scene. Be on your way. Relieved, but trying not to show it, you put on your grumpy New Yorker face and start to walk away. As you make your way past a dark alleyway, someone grabs you by the arm and pulls you into the shadows. If the smell of cigar and cheap cologne didn't give him away, the gravelly voice sure does. Nice save. I mean, dumb to show your face around in the first place, but still. Come on, I'm parked around the corner. Before you know it, you're sitting in the passenger seat of a busted old sedan parked half a block away, giving you a nice view of the police gathering. Feeding opportunity. We can take them. We can take them. No sweat. See? There's only 2 of them. That we know of. Might be more inside. I don't know, kid. I can handle risky, but this seems downright stupid. Oh, man. Okay, the blood is still there. The last thing I want to do is feed from cops. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Better safe than sorry. Give me 1 sec, guys. Okay, there's no music or anything, and I'm curious why that is. I guess because I just exited the game at a weird time. Well, we want to minimize our opportunities to actually use our powers, so let's see if D'Angelo can do his thing. Hey, how about you do your shadowy, skulky thing? Maybe you can find some way to let me in from the inside. Shadowy, skulky thing? Jesus, kid. Yeah, childish phrasing aside, that's as good an approach as any, I guess. Without another word, he gets out of the car and heads for a nearby back alley. You watch in silence as he disappears into the shadows. A minute passes. Then another one. And another. You begin to worry. What if there were more cops inside? What if your moldy partner has gotten himself into trouble? Suddenly, a shadowy silhouette appears in one of the windows on the 2nd floor. Looks like he made it after all. At least, you hope it's him. The shadow waves at you and points to the corner of the building, opposite the 2 cops. You get out of the car and quietly make your way towards the alley. Sure enough, you find that a ladder leading to a fire escape has been conveniently dropped for you. Good work, D, you mumble to yourself as you climb to the 2nd floor. Finding the crime scene proves easy enough. You just follow the yellow police tape, and before you know it, you're standing in the middle of what used to be someone's living room. The place has been completely trashed. Knocked over furniture, shattered glass, the works. Looking around, you notice a sign scribbled on a nearby wall. It reads, His gift, our fate. You're no expert in typography, but the crooked letters look similar to the ones you saw back in Red Hook. Sure enough, there's very little in terms of blood. save for the occasional stain that's bound to end up on the carpet once you toss someone through a glass coffee table. D'Angelo leans against the doorway. He seems lost in his thoughts, sucking on his cigar compulsively and mumbling to himself. You lean in a bit, trying not to make it obvious you're listening in. You manage to catch the last few lines of his monologue. The night's been kind to them so far, but the questions keep piling on, and now they found themselves amidst the wreckage of another life. It was up to them to sift through the debris and come up with a neat little pile of answers. Suddenly, he tenses up, as if sensing your eyes upon him. Feel free to chip in, kid. Anything catches your eye? His gift, our fate. Yeah, is that. What do you think it means? Actually, it could be Kane. But it does seem apocalyptic, but his gift, our fate, definitely shows like Kane's actions affected so many other lives, or unlives in this case. Let's go ahead and throw that out. His gift. Isn't there a theory that Kane was the first vampire? No, it's more than a theory. To some, it's a deeply held belief. And yeah, you're right. It's about the gift of Kane, as in vampirism. Our fate. Clearly, someone wasn't too happy to receive it. God damn it. I hate where this is going. Which is? Me being right. About thin blood involvement, I mean. Anyway, looks like we're not getting any more out of this place. No way around it. We gotta see the body. Are you protecting thin... Oh, I don't want to accuse him of anything right now. We really don't know his intention. But it does make sense that if we're investigating this, we do need to see a body, so... Well, in for a penny, in for a pound. Might as well be prudent. Yeah, my thoughts exactly. The Duskborn have it bad as it is. If I'm going to accuse one of them of breaking the Masquerade, I want solid evidence. And I mean rock fucking solid. Luckily for us, I might know someone who will get us an audience with our dearly departed. To your surprise, he pulls out a cell phone. A busted old clamshell. He flips it open and spends a good minute browsing through the contacts, muttering to himself. Finally, he makes the call. Hey! You know who this is. Yeah, that favor you owe me? Time to deliver. Listen, I know you got a fresh one. The murder in Ben Stewie. I need to take a look. Yes, now. Yeah, you better. With that, he hangs up and gives you his trademark wry smile. Aren't cell phones... There's a lot of things forbidden and we've seen rules broken. So, are we good? Yeah, we're good. Next stop, Kings County. Kings County, the bleeding heart of Brooklyn. It's beating as hard as ever, with ambulance after ambulance bringing in sick and wounded New Yorkers to be pumped through the tight arteries of the healthcare system. It's a dangerous place for a kindred to show their face, incessantly crowded and full of people who specialize in noticing all sorts of physical afflictions. Especially the sort that makes up the very essence of a vampire's existence. For instance, death. Thankfully, your business here tonight keeps you away from the hectic human hive of the ER. That's really strange that we can't... Check this out. So, if I, exit the game here and go into settings. Video... The effects, I mean, you can hear the clicking. Ambience volume. That's so weird. Okay, well, anyway. Instead, you follow D'Angelo to a relatively quiet part of the underground parking lot that's closest to your current point of interest. The Kings County Morgue. Having found yourself a convenient and suitably unlit spot near the hospital wall, you wait patiently for D'Angelo's contact to appear. Every now and then, you glance over at the undead gumshoe, as if to make sure his moldy mug isn't showing any signs of worry. It doesn't. Or at least, he's very good at hiding it. Finally, after 30 minutes or so, a lone figure emerges from a side entrance. As the human-shaped shadow walks by, you're quick to recognize him as the EMT you saw back at the murder site. Clearly nervous, the 20-something-year-old redhead can't seem to help but look back, making sure no one is following him. Finally, he stops and lights up a cigarette. Without even looking in your direction, he takes a puff and exclaims, seemingly to no one in particular, "Room 112. You got 20 minutes. D'Angelo speaks without looking at you. "That's our cue." You follow the fanged detective through the same door the EMT walked out of. Luckily, this wing of the hospital seems unusually empty. Still, the confidence with which D'Angelo makes his way through the white and green corridors makes it clear. He's been here before. Finally, he stops in front of one of the doors. "Room 112. That's your stop." The room is small, with only one oversized freezer by the wall and a single slab mounted in its center. Sure enough, the body of a middle-aged man is splayed out on its steel surface. Even for a dead man, he seems unnaturally pale. Extreme blood loss will do that to you. Try as you might, you can't help but look at the man's face, his features twisted in abject horror. This was not a peaceful death. Looking closely, you notice 2 small puncture wounds on the victim's neck. If ever there was a clearer sign of a vampire attack, you're yet to see it. Looking over to D'Angelo, you notice his lips moving in a familiar motion. He's narrating again. Before he can utter an intelligible word, though, you cut in with a remark. "Those marks on his neck. Is that what I think it is?" "Yep. Good eye, kid. It's official. Our killer is kindred. Look at his face, though. Sheer terror. He was fully aware all the way through. Killing aside, no kindred worth their salt would allow that to happen. Unless they didn't know better. This confirms it. We're looking for a thin blood." Fuck. As if on cue, the door swings open. A tired-looking man with a stethoscope around his neck walks in. With his eyes fixed on the clipboard, he doesn't appear to notice you. Yet. Hide behind the freezer. "This is going to be as good a time as any. I need to feed." Letting your instincts take over, you pounce on the unsuspecting doctor, plunging your fangs into his aorta. The precious liquid tastes sickeningly sweet, making you feel a bit lightheaded. It appears the good doctor has been getting high on his own supply. It takes you a moment to get your fill, but when you're finally done, you immediately feel D'Angelo's eyes upon you. You start coming up with an excuse, but he just smirks and the blood just disappeared. "You're quick, kid. I give you that. You beat me to it by a pube. Now come on. Let's get out of here. Time to pay our dear Primogen another visit." Robert Larson's home looks about the same as last time. No added security, no angry dogs prowling the yard. It appears that the thin-blood Primogen would rather risk another visit from his old pal D'Angelo than to arouse suspicion of his family and neighbors. Actually, I'm really glad that we fed from that doctor, because D'Angelo could hide, we couldn't, and I bet D'Angelo was going to take the doctor out because of that, and we just beat him to the punch. Which is good, considering that that's what he's about to get. Sure enough, the light in Larson's study is on, and you even catch a glimpse of the man himself shuffling around the room. You look over to D'Angelo, wondering how you're going to get Larson's attention this time. Without a single word, D'Angelo walks over to a nearby street lamp and leans against it, making sure he's visible to any and all who happen to look. Looks like the time for subtlety is over. It only takes a couple of minutes for Larson to take notice. You see him lean against the window and storm out of the room. In mere seconds, he's out in front and in D'Angelo's face. "Listen to me, you moldy fuck. I've just had about enough of your shit. You want to pester me? Fine, but leave my family out of it." For a moment, D'Angelo just stands there, motionless, allowing Larson to get his frustrations out. Suddenly, he grabs the thin blood by the collar, lifts him off the ground, and smashes his back against the lamppost. "Are you finished? All right. Now you listen to me, and you listen good. You think I'm enjoying this? You think I like to be jerked around? You think I got nothing better to do than hang around this little puppet theater you've made for yourself? Now, either you give me a lead I can follow, or I'll start remembering things you would rather forget." For the first time since you met him, Larson looks speechless, his eyes wide with fear. He can only mutter under his breath. "You wouldn't dare." "Try me." Cue awkward silence. You stand there, shifting your eyes from one vampire to the other. Guess it's time to either press the advantage or play the good cop. Ooh, okay, how do we want to go about this? We can take it easy, D'Angelo. You know what? Let's go ahead and press this. Let's do double bad cop and see what happens. Come on, Larson, just give us something. It's been a rough night.
"See, Robert, my assistant here is tired of your shit too. So, what's it gonna be?"
"If you want my help, put me the fuck down." With his feet back on the ground, Larson straightens his collar in a faint attempt to preserve some shred of dignity. "There's a place in Manhattan, Lower East Side. One of the few places in the city where my people can find shelter."
"Yeah, I know it."
"If you go there right now, you might find what you're looking for." D'Angelo stares at him for a moment, just long enough to make it uncomfortable.
"We'd better."
Finally, D'Angelo loosens his grip. You both watch Larson limp back to his house, looking back over his shoulder like he's going to tell the teacher on you. You look to your partner, meaning to ask what that whole things you'd rather forget deal was. As if sensing your curiosity, D'Angelo cuts in with a preemptive mutter.
"Come on. We got what we came for."
As you reach the address Larson gave you, you find yourself standing in front of what looks like an old garage. On the outside, the place looks as uninteresting as it gets. You'd think it abandoned if not for the few barely working lights illuminating its shabby facade. Once you're inside, however, if there was ever a place worthy of being called a wretched hive of scum and villainy, hey, this is probably it. The room is littered with drunks and crackheads, human and thin blood alike, their minds lost in their cruel little worlds, their bodies splayed out across the floor. D'Angelo leans over and whispers in your ear.
"I'll cover the back door. You stay near the front. Let's look around and see what we can find."
Before you can ask what exactly you're supposed to be looking for, D'Angelo disappears into the shadows. We could focus our senses and get hungry again. Well, I mean, if we're looking for another kindred here, I think it would probably be best. Let's go ahead and do that. Focusing your senses, you plunge into the full spectrum of the room. hoping to hear someone or something worthy of your attention. You regret it almost instantly. The room becomes a deafening echo chamber, a sea of babbling lunatics, of muttered curses and drug-induced ramblings. You're almost ready to give up when a faint whisper catches your attention. A female voice, soft, trembling. The gift. He speaks to us. The blood speaks. A few words are enough to tell you you've just hit the jackpot. You follow the voice to its source, a young woman hunched in the corner of the room. As you walk toward her, D'Angelo emerges from the shadows right next to you.
Nice catch.
He kneels down beside her. You can tell he's trying to sound as comforting as possible. With his gravelly timbre, it's not really working out.
Hey, it's okay. We're not here to hurt you. We just want to talk.
No, don't talk. Too loud. Too loud. She seems halfway out of it. It's like the lights are on, but whoever's inside is stumbling around after one hell of a bender.
All right. You like quiet. Got it. Can you tell me your name?
Santa. That's what he called me. Suddenly, you hear the door swing open behind you. Even though the night is fairly warm, a cold chill runs down your spine. You look toward the entrance. There's a woman standing there, and something about her just screams kindred. Even though she seems comically overdressed for the situation, somehow you don't feel like cracking a smile. Whoever she is, you can tell she means business. She starts making her way to the back of the room, not making any effort to sidestep any of the junkies and drunks. They all know well enough to get out of her way. Acting out of bravery or sheer stupidity, you walk up to her. She looks at you as if you were something she just scraped off her shoe. You smile nervously, without even knowing it. You know, that's just kind of ballsy there of Xavier. So I'm kind of curious if this is like a Fagin thing, where she has a whole bunch of artful dodgers and that kind of stuff under her, and basically under her thrall. As soon as you open your mouth, her hand shoots out, grabbing you by the throat. The woman looks at you, tilting her head, as if examining a curious specimen of insect. Suddenly, her eyes shift as she notices something behind you. Her face turns from disgusted curiosity to sheer annoyance. You.
Hey, Val. That's my assistant you got there. Do you mind?
She rolls her eyes. You feel the grip on your neck loosen and awkwardly fall to your feet. She makes her way toward D'Angelo, pushing you aside like a rag doll. Where is she?
You're gonna have to be a bit more specific, darling.
Don't play coy, Ginny. The manslayer. I know she's here. A blood hunt has begun. By order of the prince herself, the girl is to meet her final death.
Hold your horses, honey. I'm conducting an investigation under the auspices of the sheriff. That counts for something, too.
Look, sweetie, I'm not here for some clit-measuring contest. You want this to get ugly? Be my guest. Otherwise, I suggest you step aside and let me do my job.
By all means.
He steps aside in a comically exaggerated fashion. You look to the corner where you last saw Santa, but find no trace of the girl.
Well, I'll be. I could swear she was just here.
Valerie looks at D'Angelo. She smiles softly, but you can tell she's trying very hard not to rip his head off. You'll regret this.
Story of my life.
Without another word, she turns on her heel and storms out. D'Angelo waves his hand in your general direction.
Come on, kid. Let's get out of this shithole.
As you emerge from said shithole, you feel the cool night breeze caress your face. It's soothing and almost makes you forget how shitty the last few hours have been. Almost.
Okay, kid. I know you got questions, but it's getting early and I don't feel like having a Q&A session right now. For now, you get one question. Make it count.
Oh man, well we could ask who Valerie is. Do you know where the girl went? I would assume that Valerie is probably the Scourge, which is kind of below the rank of the sheriff, but she's the one who does a lot of the dirty work. I mean, the sheriff obviously does executions and stuff like that, but she's kind of essentially the whip for the Camarilla in the city. So let's not even ask it, but let's see. Do you know where the girl went? It's still hard to believe that girl is our killer. Do you know where she ran off to?
Not sure, but I might have some ideas. The important thing is, we know who we're looking for. Too bad Valerie knows it too. She's a scourge, kid. Ha-ha! Part enforcer, part assassin, all around pain in the ass. We'll be seeing more of her. You can bet on that. And before you ask, yes, we've run into each other in the past, and no, I don't feel like talking about it. Alright, kid. I don't know about you, but I'm turning in. I'll figure some stuff up. Keep looking for our girl. Feel free to swing by the office in a night or two.
And with that, he stumbles off into the distance, not even bothering to keep to the shadows. Can't say you blame him. It really has been a rough night. Alright, so that's good. Let's go ahead and rest. And the music is still... You know what, guys? I may just go ahead, because the music is so good and it really helps to the ambience of this game. It's been kind of interesting to do an episode without it, but I'm hoping that that's not some sort of bug. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. When we get back, we'll rest up and see if there's any more plot developments, and if not, I guess, oh Lord help us, we are going to see what Hope is up to. So, hope you guys have enjoyed it. If you liked the episode, please leave a like down below. Subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, that'd be a big help. And we'll see you next time. Later days, everyone.